Origins of Doctor Strange. Dr. Stephen Strange was once a gifted but egotistical surgeon who sought out the Ancient One to heal his hands after they were wounded in a car accident. Instead, the Ancient One trained him to become master of the mystic arts and the sorcerer supreme of Earth. At a young age, Stephen Strange had dreams of becoming a doctor. The eldest child of three, Strange was born in 1930 while his parents Eugene and Beverly Strange were on vacation in Philadelphia. At the age of 11 he aided his younger sister Donna when she was injured, which proved to be a formative experience for him, and he was inspired to attend med school after high school. Ironically, it was his inability to later save her from drowning when he was 19 and on leave from college that undermined his belief in life's meaning and the value of idealism. Nevertheless, he rapidly finished med school at a young age and became a successful neurosurgeon. Strange displayed phenomenal talent in his chosen field, and quickly attained wealth and notoriety. The more successful he became, the more arrogant he grew. Eventually this led to estrangement from his family and the undoing of his relationship with a United Nations translator named Madeleine Revel to whom he had proposed marriage. So distant and self-absorbed did he become that he refused to visit his father on his deathbed. His enraged younger brother Victor Strange berated him for this, and then was killed as he ran into traffic. Stephen then placed the body of his brother into cryogenic storage. At a much later stage Stephen attempted to restore his brother through magical means, but instead imbued him with the curse of vampirism. A car accident that damaged the nerves in his hands changed everything for Stephen Strange. He was no longer able to be a surgeon, yet he refused to become an assistant or consultant, instead squandering his money traveling the world and searching for a cure. One day he heard a rumor of a mystical personage known as the Ancient One in Tibet. Marshalling the last of his inner and outer resources, Strange diligently searched until the fortress of the Ancient One was revealed to him. Though initially outraged that the aged mystic refused to cure his hands, Strange's anger was quickly replaced by amazement when the reality of magical forces was demonstrated before his eyes as he witnessed an attack on the Ancient One. Circumstances revealed to Strange that it was none other than Baron Mordo, the Ancient One's chief disciple, who was the perpetrator of the attack, and who continued to plot the destruction of the antediluvian mystic in an attempt to gain power. To his horror, Strange learned he was unable to reveal this after Mordo easily encircled him. Realizing the Ancient One was a force for good, Stephen selflessly abandoned his quest to restore his hands and committed himself to magical tutelage with the intention of foiling Mordo's insidious scheme. By this act Strange proved himself to the Ancient One, to whom the entire melodrama had been transparent. Thus Doctor Strange put himself on the path to become the new sorcerer supreme of the Earth dimension, yet gained a deadly enemy in Baron Mordo. After many years of training, Strange returned to New York. He became a mystical consultant and started having interactions with the superhero community. After the Fantastic Four formed and many superheroes began to surface, Doctor Strange found a friend in Spider-Man. Spider-Man helped him rescue a group of people from another dimension and suggested that Strange remove from their memory this traumatic experience, though this meant that they would forget his own heroism. Initially tricked into conflict with each other by Loki, Thor, and Doctor Strange also formed an early alliance to combat the god of mischief. Noteworthy among the good Doctor's numerous foes over the years as Earth's magical guardian were the dread Dormammu, Shuma-Gorath, the Undying Ones, and Nightmare. Strange's first battle with Dormammu ensued when the powerful demigod of the Dark Dimension attempted to invade Earth's plane as he perceived the wane of the Ancient One's might. Strange was forced to duel Dormammu in the Dark Dimension, and though vastly outpowered by the godlike entity, Strange was able to tax Dormammu to the extent that the barrier separating beings known as the Mindless Ones from the rest of the Dark Dimension became compromised. A force of pure destruction, the Mindless Ones would have meant annihilation to the other denizens of Dormammu's realm, and Strange nobly contributed his power to his enemy to prevent their being unleashed. Bound by whatever strange honor as applies to his demonic ilk, Dormammu then called off his invasion and released Strange. They were to clash many times subsequently, however, and Dormammu has been one of Strange's most implacable and powerful foes. It was during this adventure that Doctor Strange also met Clea, a beautiful but inexperienced mystic, the daughter of Umar, Dormammu's sister, who became Strange's first apprentice, as well as his lover. In one of his more bizarre adventures, Strange fought the demonic forces of Shumagorath, an ancient Lovecraftian entity that coveted Earth's domination from the world's distant past and this time threatened our reality using the very mind of Doctor Strange's beloved mentor, the Ancient One. Though it agonized him, Strange was left with no choice but to obey his teacher and slay him to prevent the Holocaust Shumagorath would have unleashed upon the world. The Ancient One then ascended to become one with the being known as Eternity, while Strange inherited the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme. Sorcerer Supreme and Defenders. The Defenders were born when Doctor Strange formed a bizarre team-up with the Hulk, Namor, and later the Silver Surfer. These four strong personalities somehow managed to work together and started the unlikely super team known as the Defenders to combat yet another world-conquering demonic threat, this time in the form of beings called the Undying Ones who were led by the evil and ancient Nameless One. The Defenders went on to battle numerous threats, both supernatural and mundane so to speak, and were joined in an oft-changing roster that included such unlikely characters as the Silver Surfer, Hellstorm, the Overmind, Valkyrie, Nighthawk, and Hellcat. Dracula and the Montesi Formula. In yet another impressive display of the capabilities of a Sorcerer Supreme, Strange opposed Dracula himself to rid the world, at least for a time, of the plague of vampirism. Assisted by a dedicated band of vampire hunters Hannibal King, Blade, and Frank Drake and Wong, Doctor Strange kept Dracula busy, while the others recited the Montesi formula from the Darkhold and destroyed virtually all the world's vampires, including Dracula. Yet this very undoing for most of the world's vampires interacted with the previous spells Stephen Strange had attempted in his resurrection of his brother Victor, causing Victor to rise from the grave as the undead. Later developments also allowed the resurrection of many of the destroyed Nosferatu, though Strange banished the vampire verses to another plane of existence. Infinity Gauntlet. Strange went on to battle a host of threats to the Earth dimension, at times battling cosmic entities such as the In-Betweener, participating in the power struggles over the dominion of the Dark Dimension between Clea, Umar, and Dormammu, and joining other heroes to oppose Thanos in his attempt to gain the Infinity Gauntlet, to name but a few. He has triumphed over others bearing the title Sorcerer Supreme, such as Salome, the first Sorcerer Supreme of Earth, and Shanzar, the Sorcerer Supreme of another dimension. Though he at first resisted such calls because of his duties as Earth's mystical protector, Strange was eventually drawn into a 5,000-year battle against the Trinity of Ashes on the side of the Vishanti. Because of the magical nature of the realm in which he fought, or because of his innate power, Strange was absent from his home dimension for this conflict for only a few months in everyone else's perceptions and appeared to age but little. Powers and abilities. Master of the mystic arts, Doctor Strange is one of the most powerful sorcerers in the world. Drive. Strange uses mystical energy invoked upon by spells, incantations, or by the power of divine beings to manipulate forces of the universe, including projection of mystic energy as bolts, slashes, binds, shields, or a scattered array of energy appearing like electricity, manipulating matter, and various energies, physical or spiritual, even transmutation of matter, controlling the elements, opening or sealing mystical portals to other realms, teleportation or dimensional travel, reality warping, and control over dimension, seeing through or casting illusions, invisibility and intangibility through astral projection, vast mental powers such as telepathy and telekinesis, communication with the dead and spiritual entities, seeing the future or past, manipulating dreams, removing spirits or placing them back into bodies, summoning supernatural beings, or using the powers of supernatural items. Many of Doctor Strange's powers are a function of his ability to manipulate the ambient mystical energy of the Marvel Universe. With this ability, Doctor Strange can perform many functions. Commonly this is seen as energy attacks that range from low power to planet-destroying, transmutation, telekinesis, teleportation, protective shields, etc. He uses this mystical energy to cast spells of a near-infinite variety. Doctor Strange can also channel the virtually unlimited energy of nigh-omnipotent mystical and non-mystical beings known as principalities to empower his spells. This can take the form of stating what he wants to occur. This ability to be a conduit to multiversal power sources has given rise to the phrase Doctor Strange is as powerful as the god he invokes. He is quite capable of utilizing power that is considered black magic, though he tends to do so only under extreme exigency. Though he rarely has, he can absorb the power of even a cosmic or semi-deity entity. Doctor Strange has a pact with eternity, possibly allowing him to live as long as the Ancient One and others before him have. This phrase, for instance, would cause unbreakable magical bonds to appear, capable of constraining even the Hulk. In addition to Sidorak and Oshtur, among the beings of power called upon by Strange are all-seeing Agamotto and Hoary Hoggoth, who along with Oshtur form the triad known as the Eternal Vishanti, the Seraphim, Thon who created the Darkhold Tome, Gaia, Icon, Dormammu rarely, and the Hell Lord Satanish. Sometimes it appears the substance of mystical realms is invoked rather than the beings who rule over them, as when Strange summons the flames of the Fault in the birthplace dimension of Dormammu, but also particular energy beings who rule there. This may explain why Strange is able to call upon such evil entities as Thon and Satanish to power certain spells, yet not be in their service. Certain beings are typically invoked for particular effects, such as Icon for illusions, the Seraphim for protective effects like shields and the like, Sidorak for bindings, Agamotto for dispelling negativity and revealing the truth, etc. Other magical constructs commonly employed through such agencies are the vapors of Voltor, the chains of Kraken, and the seven sons of Cinnabus. Doctor Strange seems to be more so than anyone else under the favored patronage of the powerful Vishanti. Magical artifacts. The Sorcerer Supreme possesses a formidable arsenal of magical artifacts, two of which are particularly recognizable: the Eye of Agamotto and the Cloak of Levitation. The Eye of Agamotto is an artifact with many uses, such as vastly extending Doctor Strange's psychic abilities, interdimensional travel, emitting a light that pierces all deception and is anathema to evil beings, serving as a protective talisman, and other feats. It can be used as an almost irresistible offensive weapon, though Strange rarely does so. Similar to Mjolnir, the Eye can only be used by those it deems as morally worthy. The Cloak of Levitation has been a third set of hands for Doctor Strange, responding to his thoughts to entangle opponents, and allowing him to fly and levitate. It is virtually indestructible and has shielded him from attacks as well. Strange also possesses the Orb of Agamotto, a sort of hyper-powerful crystal ball that allows clairvoyant perception of anywhere in any dimension or realm. Other powerful artifacts in his possession include the Book of the Vishanti, the Darkhold Tome, and the Wand of Watum. His abode in Greenwich Village, known as the Sanctum Sanctorum, both defies normal spatial law and is of such magical potency in its protections that it may be considered an artifact itself. Doctor Strange has also come into the possession of the Soul Gem in the past. Since his adventure in space, Strange has had access to a cosmic forge on Nidavellir for him to create his own magical artifacts.